So you want to be a Beast Tamer. So you want to have 4 different animals to choose from, given different situations. Then you've come to the right class. In the beginner tab, there's a few skills you get. At first you get Guardian Leap, which is just your flash jump, no matter which animal you are. It's the same. Well, except for in bird mode you get an upgrade to it, but I'll talk about that later. Critter Select allows you to choose between the 4 different animals. So when you press it, press either left for the bear, up for the bird, down for the cat, or right for the leopard. Currently I'm in the leopard. And let's see. This just comes from the soul weapon that I have on. Homeward Bound allows you to go back to the beginning area. And then there's some passives I should mention. So at level 40 you get Scepter Mastery and Magic Attack, so look forward to that upgrade. And Growth Spurt. So at level 60, every time that you level up, this skill also levels. Like, it'll get better as you level. So I'm kind of confused about this skill because I kind of forgot what it did. But after reading up about it, it supposedly, for 30 minutes every time you level, gives you extra, what was it? Growth rate increased by 200%, and extra EXP, so you get like 2 times EXP for like 30 minutes. So I don't remember that happening, but it probably happened, I don't know. But either way, the buffs are great. So, yeah. And I haven't leveled in a long time, so I don't know if that still happens as you level. But you guys can leave it in the comments if it still happens when you level. Alright, so then we have Maple Guardian, and you get this at 120, which is your Maple Warrior. Really cute. And then Beastly Resolve, which you get at 150, which cures you of abnormal status and leaves you immune to abnormal status for about 3 seconds. Or maybe it doesn't, I think it just cures abnormal status. I thought it would leave you invincible. Okay, whatever, I guess. This class hasn't been updated in a long time, so that's how it used to work. It never gave you the invincibility to, immune to abnormal before. So with this class, I think I'm going to do it a different way. Because there's a lot of skills to go over. But instead of just going over every skill, I'm just going to, like, I don't know. I need to find a way to make this shorter. Because this is going to be like an hour-long video if I go over all the skills, so... I'm going to do Leopard first, because that's what I have maxed out right now. Leopard is great for mobility training. So if you just hold down the attack button, you do like a 3 hit combo basically, and it moves you across the floor. If you continuously tap it after you've already added into, what was it, Leopard's Roar, I think it was called? Which is a skill you get later on, it's not like that early. But you do like this launching thing, I don't know, I don't really find it useful. The main reason I have it added into is for the passive effect. So let's see, what else do we got? Thunder Dash. Not really that useful to me. It leaves fire on the floor, but the fire doesn't really... I mean, it does damage, but it doesn't do continuous damage. It just hits once and then... Yeah, that's it. So, I guess it's good if you can one-hit the map. Just leave the fire behind and then have them run into it. But, yeah, I don't know. I never really found it all that useful. It doesn't actually leave fire behind until later on, but I'll get to it. So that's Thunder Dash. It's also great for getting to platforms that are out of your reach, because it, like, teleports you to that platform. Let's see. At a 40% chance, you recover 8% of the damage that you dealt to your, back to your HP. Leopard Pounce. Oh, that's just the final hit of that attack. That's just the third hit. Another passive. I don't even know what this is. Oh, this is the one where... Okay, so this is good if you're on a map that's like... It has multiple platforms, but at the same time... Like kind of like that. So you can get to multiple platforms, and then just slam down. You can also change the direction before you use the other attack. But for flat maps, I would recommend just using this. It's much faster. So let's see, what else? I'm trying to go through the skills that you would really use. Oh my god, the bro attack. So you remember old Battle Mage? How they used to summon Reapers and stuff? You pretty much get that ability in Leopard mode. So when you attack, there's a chance that you'll summon little buddies to help you out. Oh, there's one now. They do alright damage. After a while, you can actually cover the whole map in them, and they can really clear the map for you. Like, they can really help out. Let's see. Leopard's Roar, already went over it. Trail, already went over it. Macho, whatever. That's just when you slam down, you do like this explosion at the end. It's whatever. 3-point Pounce. Never really used it. It's not that useful. Just hits enemies above you. That makes you go farther when you do the thunder thing. You have an instant kill chance of 4%. There's a 4% chance to instantly kill something that you're attacking. That is really good. So like if I were to go to a really high leveled area and I could actually do damage to them, I have a 4% chance to actually kill them. So I actually miss these kind of skills, where you could just instantly kill an enemy. Because then you could train at places that you're not even supposed to be at training at. And yeah, the rest are pretty much passive. You get attack speed later on. And then party time, yeah, it's whatever. It looks cool, but it's not that great. So I just wanted to go over Leopard because this is good training for, I would say, like, until about 60-something, maybe 50-something? Yeah, I would say like 50-something. Leopard is good until. After that, I don't really use it. It's too weak for my taste. But I do like the mobility that it comes with. So anyway, now to move on to the other animals. So, after about level 50 or so, pretty much whenever you decide to go to Drakes, I would say you could work on Bear. Leopard, while useful for mobile mobbing, Bear just beats it in terms of raw power, even though you're stationary. This is basically your bossing mode. So, here, I'll show you. So, when you attack, you don't exactly get to move, and you have to keep pressing the attack button. But it has tools in order to make it easier to mob. So, it can suck enemies in, although you won't really be using that skill. You can leave fire on the ground, which does continuous damage. You can also leave this little guy here, and he does massive damage. He is very strong. Not only that, but you get a tornado, which covers a wide area. So I mean, in terms of mobbing, Bear eventually beats Leopard, as long as you don't have to move around too much. So, the first few skills that you get aren't really too strong until you get Furious Swipes. This is the skill that you want to get when mobbing, and I think you get it at 53 or 54. I believe 54, maybe. I don't remember exactly, but somewhere around there. Anyway, so Majestic Trumpet, feel free to max it, because it gets upgraded later on. I do want to go over Don't Max Deep Breath, because you get an upgraded version of it. I mean, you don't even want to max that one either. But you want to max pretty much everything but Deep Breath, really Deep Breath, Fort the Brave, and the reason why is because the level 19 and 20, they're both the same thing, as you can see. And I didn't max Bear Reborn because the cooldown doesn't really decrease all that much. And it's not like you're going to die all that often, right? Basically, it allows you to die once, and then it revives you. And, yeah. Table Flip, I mean, it looks cool, but I never really found it all that useful. It covers a wide area of the map, but the time that it takes to activate it, not really that worth it. I mean, yeah, if I max it, I'll one-hit these guys, which is great, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. You can max it if you want. So, okay, so the skills that I want to go over with Bear. When you rapidly press the attack key, you go through his 3 swipes and then into Furious Swipes. Furious Swipes is your main attacking skill for mobbing and bossing, actually. Let's see, what else? Deep Breath, I mean, you could use it if you want to, like if the map is really wide or something, and you just want to bring them close to you. You could do it, and then start doing Furious Swipes, or Furious Strikes, because it does hit behind you as well. A little bit behind you. And then Lil Fort, amazing summon, like I said. Bear Assault allows you to gain 35% damage, 17% crit rate, which you don't really need because, well, maybe you do. You get a lot of crit rate with this class. The thing is that you only get to attack one enemy. There is a duration of 60 seconds and a cooldown of 2 minutes. So, you have it for a minute and then you wait a minute to activate it again. Fishy Slap, I consider this to be pretty much equal to Furious Strikes in terms of damage output. Because while this has more lines and attacks, not really faster, but when I did my DPS check, or DPM, or whatever you want to call it, they both had relatively the same damage output for how long this skill lasts. So, use either one, whichever one matches the situation. Sometimes there's enemies that move around a lot and you just want to get to them, or Furious Strikes doesn't reach them. And yeah, that's pretty much when I would use that. Has a very short cooldown as well. Let's see. Yeah, only 10 seconds. And then Billowing Trumpet just increases the old farts damage. Alright, so that's it for Bear. Now, I already went over Leopard, so let's talk about Cat. Cat is support, basically. It's your support animal. I love using it for attacking, though. Like, I love all the bonuses it gives. Its damage is really bad, but, I mean, it has utility. It has that. It also has a heal skill that doesn't actually do damage, so if you just want to heal somebody, but not, like, aggro the monster, you could use that as well. So, Friend Launcher. Terrible skill. Terrible. Hate it. It's so bad. So I left it at 1. The rest of the skills over here I maxed. You don't actually have to max Kitty Treats. It only gives you, plus 625 HP. It's not anything too big. I maxed it because I just want everything. Like, I like cat mode. And then everything else I maxed. You increase you and your party's drop chance by 20%. Oh, I should also mention, cat mode, you remember how I said it was support? It's passive support, so you don't have to use any buffs. Well, except for Maple Warrior, but they have their own Maple Warrior, you don't have to do it. So yeah, all of these are passive, like as you can see it says P, and then A is of course for active. So all of these things that they're getting all of these passive boosts just for you being in the map with them. So you never have to buff them, you can just go AFK if you want to. Anyway, so yeah, drop chance 20%. I wonder if this stacks with Holy Symbol's drop chance. I know the later skill that you get at like 115 or something does not stack with the EXP. Anywho, so Meow Heal recovers 20% HP, and you don't have to max it because level 1 recovers 10% HP, while maxed it recovers 20. It's not that big of a difference, but you can spam it really fast, which is why I say that you don't really need to add it, because 10% healing is really nice. Alright, so max the passive. Meow Cure is pretty much... Okay, so it recovers you and your allies' abnormal status. So yeah, it's really nice. And it's a cute animation as well. Per zone. Any monsters within this area, even if they're like way up here, will take continuous damage for a few seconds. It's not really used for damage, really. No, it's not really used for healing, even though it does heal your HP. So here, let me take a little bit of damage so I can show you. Alright, so let's go up here now. And the cooldown is really short, but as you can see, enemies are taking continuous damage. It can also kill enemies. So if you're training at a spot where you one-hit enemies, you'll heal yourself as well as take the enemies out. But as you can see, it doesn't really heal up all that much. It's just great for added healing, I guess, but mainly for damage. But again, cat mode's not really what you want for damage. The card buffs. This is the main reason you're going to be using cat mode. Because... Okay, so first let me go over the cards. The red card increases your damage by 30%. Blue card, not important. Yellow card increases your attack speed. Or you and your parties. Oh, these card buffs are party skills as well, but they have to be near you. Increases your attack speed by 2. So, that's really nice. And the cooldown's 30 seconds, so it's really fast. Friend launcher, whatever. Only put a point into it so I can get to the later skills. The insight skill increases you and your party's defense ignore. Fire Kitty is your main mobbing skill. It attacks more enemies than friend launcher, it lowers enemy defense. It's just overall a better skill. Just in every way. And that thing just disappeared. I guess I took too long. Let's see. Revive? Oh, does exactly what it says. It revives your party members. Gold card. So gold card has a 30% chance to activate, but when it does, it activates all of the cards. So I'm gonna use it now, and I got the red card. So yeah, you have a chance to get any of those cards. And then lastly, well, not really lastly, but lastly out of the important skills, you get Friend of Arby, which increases you and your party's EXP by 30%. And it says that it does not stack with Holy Symbol, only the one that gives the highest amount of EXP applies. So this gives 30% EXP, while Holy Symbol gives 50%. However, it's really good if you're training a bishop, like you're training up a priest or a cleric or whatever, and you don't have Holy Symbol yet. It's great to just have a Beast Tamer in the map to give you extra EXP. And the last skill is Cat's Cradle, which isn't really useful, but enemies that are with... I should have used it when enemies are around. But enemies within it will have this thing that says, like, hit above their head. And if you attack another enemy, that enemy that has a hit above their head will take damage. It's not really useful. It only does one line, and it's not that fast, and it's just not that great. But it looks cool. I like seeing Arby bounce around in the ribbons. Okay, so then we'll go over Bird, which again is terrible. Oh, let me actually tell you about the card switching. So when you use the cards, you can actually switch to other animals and keep the card buff. So usually what you do is you use the cat, you switch to cat, you switch to cat, use the card buff, and hopefully you get gold or red or green, and then you switch back to bear, and then you start attacking with either faster attack speed, damage, or whatever you got from the card. So yeah, that's going to be your main thing after level like 50 something. So for Bird, you get a lot of mobility. A great double flash jump, a vertical jump, which you can then, you know, use another flash jump after that. The attacking skills aren't great. I think they broke it. I think you're supposed to be able to move while you use this. Like I'm tapping the attack key to be able to move, but I think you're supposed to be able to move while you use... Oh, there we go, now it's working. It wasn't working before. Also the animation looks like it stops. I think it's supposed to keep going. But if you jump and press up, you go into flying, and the bird's supposed to be behind you, but I don't know why it's not. And then when you go past enemies, the birds will attack for you. I do have a bleed thing on, I can also activate this, and let's see, where's the other skill? There it is. So now it does extra bleed, but you don't want to use this for attacking, for mobbing. So yeah, I mean, bird, mainly useful for mobility. The skills that I would add into: skywalk, vertical draft, the express skill, because this counts as like a door skill. You place it down, and then you can go back to town, replenish your potions or whatever you want to do, and then go back to the previous map that you were in. Fly, I wouldn't really add into it. It's not really all that great. I mean, if you just want to fly around the map, fine, sure. But it's mainly supposed to be used to use the birds to attack, but they're not strong. That's not useful. I mean, I guess you can increase your stuff, you and your party's movement and jump. It's not worth it. It's basically haste. And then the other skill that I want to mention is Regroup. This summons your party, as long as they're in the same channel and above level 9, to your map. Like, you just summon your party members to your map. Like, okay, Bishop has door, right? But so does Beast Tamer's bird mode, like as you can see here. But this skill right here trumps that. Like, they could be anywhere in Maple, as long as they're on the same channel and above level 9, I can summon them here. How great is that? That's so awesome. So, alright, I went over pretty much all the important skills. I guess I'll go over it again, just in case. Or maybe I'll put it at the beginning of the video. But basically, from levels 10 through maybe like 53 or something like that, Leopard is going to be your best bet. After about level 55 or 54 or something, you're going to want to put into Bear. The skills I went over are, you know, whatever. I already went over them. And then you want to put into Cat mode. Not because you're really going to use it, but because you want to switch into Cat mode, use the card buff, and then switch back to Bear. Alright, so that's the important stuff. Now let's go over hyper skills. So, hyper skills, hyper passives specifically. Fury swipes, or Fury strikes, increase the damage, crit rate, don't really have to do that, and damage to bosses. Although I would do all three because all the other ones are terrible. 3-point, that's a terrible skill. Formation attack, terrible, and friend launcher, terrible. All of these are bad except for these three. Alright, so next we have the active hypers. Team Roar. This gives you invincibility for 30 seconds. And it shares with your party 30% damage. So you just have pure invincibility. So I'm going to go ahead and use it. And if I had a party member with me, they wouldn't get the invincibility, but they would get the damage increase. And it lasts 30 seconds. Alright, so next we have Group Bear Blaster. And I think it's supposed to be like your AoE attack. I don't really know how strong it is, I never really used it. Seems okay. It seems pretty strong. The cooldown seems long though. Like, what is it, 2 minutes? 90 seconds. So yeah, you launch the bear and he bounces all around, kills enemies. Pretty strong, 8 hits, I guess. Seems to have a long windup though. And without invincibility, I don't think it's worth it. I mean, I guess it could be, but again, it doesn't really give invincibility. Kind of like table flip. When you use it, you can still get hit, like you're still taking damage. So, yeah, that's it for Beast Tamer. In bear mode, you get 95% knockback resistance. In all the other modes, you don't really get that much. So anyway, yeah, I guess we'll move on to bossing, because I already showed mobbing. By the way, the mobbing, pretty much what I do, I know I said I was going to skip it, but what I do is I switch between bird and bear, because I want to stay as mobile as possible. So, pretty much how I train. Put the little bear somewhere so he can attack enemies when they get close to him. Switch back to bird so I can jump up to the top platform, switch back to bear, and so on. And of course switch to cat when you want to get the card buff. And that's pretty much how I mob with this class. So, bossing. That'll be fun. So the only time that I really use the deep breath, deep breathing? Deep breath? Is when the enemies are too far away. And I just bring them to my little guy over here, and he takes care of the rest. Also, for this guy, I would just use the tornado. No matter where he goes, he's most likely going to get hit. Alright, so, let's use the card buff. We didn't get the attack one, that's fine. So, something I should mention. When you use the little bear fart or whatever, it will actually get you killed by damage reflect, so definitely be careful with that. Other than that, use Furious Strikes, and you could use the Tornado as well, but make sure to watch when you use the Fire Fart. So I'm going to go ahead and check to see if I can use the card buff, because I want to try to get the attack buff. Alright, looks like I'm not getting lucky. Once I get it, I'll use the bossing mode. Because if you use the bossing mode from bear, and then you switch animals, you won't have the buff anymore. Alright, we got the gold card, which is perfect, but he's about to do damage reflect, so it's not so perfect. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and use invincibility. I'm going to put on the bossing mode, which allows me to hit just one enemy, but it does more damage and more crit. Which doesn't really matter because Beast Tamer already has like 100% in bear mode. And yeah, if I ever get tired of just mashing a button, I can always do Tornado. Or Fish Slap is what it's actually called. Because it does about the same damage. It's a little bit less than Furious Strikes, but still pretty much the same. And that's about it for the bossing. Again, don't use the fire. Don't use it if you know an enemy has damage reflect. Unless you know the timing between the damage reflect. Because it will get you killed. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hope to see you in my next video. See ya!